Crowley, Ipsos Mori, and the global brain. Ipsos Mori translates from Latin as they die. This was the testing company working with the National Pharma Corporate Front organisation in England. Ipsos is also a Thelemite magical formula for the incantation of the, quote, Aeon of Ma'at, unquote. Thelemites believe that we live through various eons, arbitrary periods of significance, much akin to the New Age doctrine of the Age of Aquarius, Age of Pisces, etc. Thus, the Ipsos terminology is linked to the Philema cult of Crowley, where they stated that the Age of Ma'at was to be simultaneous with the Age of Horus, the twin current. It was to last from 1948 to 3948. Ma'at is the goddess of truth, justice, wisdom, the stars, law, morality, order, harmony, the seasons, and cosmic balance. Coincidentally, during creation she brought order from chaos and was tasked with maintaining that universal order. At the point of death, the scales of judgment as overseen by Anubis were counterweighted with the feather of truth, or the feather of Ma'at. Polytheism was largely personifications of archetypal concepts and elemental powers existent within nature generally. Ma'at is the deification of order, and Isfet, her opposite deity, is concerned with chaos. The twin current of Horus and Ma'at, as Crowley stated in the Book of Ma'at, is very much concurrent with the pharmaceutical symbol, or the caduceus, the intertwined serpents around the staff, reaching the globe or disc at the top. Nima, a disciple of Crowley, who also, quote, received, unquote, a book entitled Liber Pene Pronumbra. It is a rather broken form of Latin, but piecing it together, it may come to mean Book of the Pre-Shadowing of the Feather, in which she details the Ma'atian current and the takeover of the Ma'atian age, quote, where the combined mind of humanity will awaken and mankind will achieve balance, unquote. So said Nima. Is this indicative of the global brain as discussed by Halligan, the cyberneticist, or of the AI singularity wished for by the ruling class? She also believes Ipsos is one of the magical formulae or incantations, the feather song, to bring about the Ma'atian age. Ma'at and the motif of the feather of truth. This is reoccurring throughout the Ma'atian symbology. She founded the Horus Ma'at Lodge. In 2004, Nima gave a lecture in Cincinnati entitled, quote, The Evolution of Ma'at Magic from Cornfields to Cyberspace, unquote. In it she states, quote, Na'aton is the persona of the emerging Homo Veritas, or the Truth Man, which differs from Homo sapiens in that people have a double consciousness, that of their individuality and that of the whole species. This interconnectedness, this global brain, the same motif. It can be viewed as Jung's racial unconscious becoming racial consciousness through a field effect of empathy and telepathy. I can literally feel your pain, you can feel mine, and we both can link with large numbers of others who know how to teach us effective pain management. We filter the input of this telepathic sense in much the same way our familiar physical senses edit the teeming world for our consideration. Total immersion in the species consciousness is relatively rare, but the global network of human consciousness is available at all times, unquote. This ties into Nietzsche in a most extraordinary way, in the form of the Cicada 3301 cryptographic puzzle, first put forth on the 4chan message boards. There has been a great deal of discussion surrounding its origins, but naturally, it goes without saying, it was beyond some basement dweller with a neckbeard. It was organised and very thoroughly, if I may say so. One message from a claimed ex-associate of the Cicada project stated, quote, I was part of what you call 3301 Cicada for more than a decade, and I'm here to warn you, stay away. This is a dangerous organisation. While I agree with many of the goals, their ways are nefarious. In fact, I think it is like a left-hand path religion disguised as a progressive scientific organisation. I realise this is a strong statement, unquote. He goes on to state some of their beliefs. They are listed as follows, quote, believe in Halligan's ideas on global brain. I covered this within my Cybernetic Truth series. Halligan is a cyberneticist who is the exponent of the global brain, more accurately put, the hive mind. He goes on to state, in fact, the idea of global brain with humans as individual neurons arise on a regular basis. They believe in the philosophy of the Jesuit, quote, the end justifies the means, unquote. Through this idea to justify their actions, do not always follow their own belief systems and philosophies. They believe that within each person there is a God. Not God in the sense of most religions, it's more like Übermensch in the writings of Nietzsche. They also see the global brain as another kind of God, this type of collectivist consciousness, unquote. As you can see, the Needlecraft links to this by allowing the facilitation of the global brain of Halligan, of which I spoke of in the Cybernetic Truth, the reshaping of man and his evolutionary pathway. It is akin to the movie entitled Cell, where the mind of the human was infected and controlled by a frequency. However, in reality, this will only be able to be realised with the administering of a receptor of sorts, such as Needlecraft. This will allow the global consciousness, as these various occult and academic figures speak of, to come to fruition within the world. The Luciferic nostrum that shall capture the minds of all will render one a mere husk to be implanted, possessed if you will, by digital demons. Mind control through a system of cyber reticulation. As you can see, this Cicada 3301 was very much linked to finding, quote, highly intelligent people prior to this earth-shattering event. This period of energetic transition, where this cabal shall become like the snake, shedding their old skin for a new one. And so too do they wish for us the same fate, to become transhuman. They required the brightest minds to lead humanity into the darkest of futures. Crowley and his disciples wanted a global brain. As Klaus Schwab stated, quote, the fourth industrial revolution will lead to a fusion of our physical, digital, and biological identity, unquote. So do the cyberneticists, eugenicists, transhumanists, and the rest of the cabal wish for. As you can see, Project Cicada and the shadowy profligates behind it wished for the realization of the Übermensch fate for humanity, as compared to egalitarian modernity's last man, as Nietzsche stated as well. And this is all linked in part to eugenics, the Übermensch being discussed as a proto-transhuman concept of what Julian Huxley envisioned. The death of God will take place during the time of the Übermensch. This is not the literal death of God, but of a reconsideration of the values derived from providence, or God. The Übermensch species will derive values from themselves and hold to the concept of, quote, this world, unquote, that nothing is beyond it, and they are transfixed on material pursuit, where the metaphysical realizations of our world will languish in a forgotten state. This is also akin to the other beliefs that this ex-associate stated. I will leave the link in the description for you to peruse at your own convenience. As I say, these characters all link together, as does Geo and the cybernetic hive mind. Are you beginning to see the world they wish for you? Do you not understand your future if you do not fight for your faith, your humanity, and your very spirit?